Just a stone's throw away from Canberra, on the western outskirts of the city, across the Murrumbidgee River, sits the Cotter Catchment, the beautiful Cotter River and Cotter Dam. In the wake of the savage bushfires which destroyed pine plantations throughout the Lower Cotter in 2003, the area has become a scene of intense rehabilitation work at an awesome scale. The restoration challenge has been met by the ACT Government, Greening Australia and thousands of community volunteers together, uniting to transform the landscape and safeguard the health of the city's water. The performance of volunteers has been inspiring to witness. So far, volunteers have contributed more than 25,000 hours to collecting seed, propagating plants, planting, maintaining and monitoring sites. Individuals, families, community groups, private businesses and government departments have all stepped forward to make a difference.
Now more than ever, with climate change kind of being on the national agenda, like everyone's thinking about it, and so not so much just responding to the bushfires and that kind of stuff, but actually thinking of bigger issues. I think this is a way for people to contribute in their own little way to their local environment as well.
Just a little bit that you're doing and everyone else is doing, it just all adds up, and you hope that one day, especially if we've got a family starting soon, so it might be nice for something to pass on to the next generation.
When you come out here, you actually feel like you're physically doing something instead of like giving the donations things. You're actually out here, and you can come back maybe in like Mount McDonald. We know where we planted trees, and hopefully we can say we planted those.
I just think it's something that's really easy, and teach him about looking after the environment early.
I like the seeding and helping the environment and everything.
Some small way each of us can do this, and it's no great big job to do.
Funds have also been raised to support the work in the Lower Cotter. For instance, from organisations such as Cafe Brindabella, who since 2004 have raised more than $40,000, not to mention participating in planting days. Greening Australia has assisted the ACT Government in tackling the Lower Cotter's main environmental challenges through persistent practical action on the ground. The task, above all, has been to improve water quality by establishing a good cover of native vegetation to combat erosion, control sediment and contain the spread of weeds. A critical aim has been to link community action to science and innovation, exploring, for example, how a range of regreening techniques, including hand seeding and the use of fire itself, can boost recovery of the landscape.
What we're going to do, I've got 5 different types of seed here. There's 5 species, so there's going to be 20 plants of each. That means 100 plants in this quadrant.
Greening Australia is working with the ACT Government, CSIRO, ANU, UC and other agencies to see how the burning of pine windrows, where necessary, can help to regenerate native vegetation.
I think the lesson for me as both a CSIRO scientist and a Greening Australia tree planter out on these hillsides is working with nature, that fire is part of these landscapes. It certainly has stimulated a lot of natural regeneration. How do we get that natural regeneration happening in those areas where the seed supply has been lost? The challenge is how to reduce the cost of re-establishing native vegetation of formerly burnt pine landscapes. To do so as rapidly as we can, because we're dealing with water quality issues for Canberra. So how do we get a cover of native vegetation back on these hills in order to improve and maintain our water quality?
Big issue is the scale of the challenge. It's such a big area that we've got to deal with here, and trying to get everything done that we need to get done in the time that we've got is really a challenge. So that's where we've really been relying a lot on the assistance of the community to help us in this job. We've got a number of years ahead of us where we're going to be relying on the community to come in and help us plant trees back in those areas where nature really needs a helping hand. We really need to be able to measure as much as we can the success of what we're doing. So science is really a fundamental part of how we are doing business out here.
The role of science and community working hand in hand is bound to continue for years to come. It's all about creating healthy landscapes for clean water, learning about managing the environment as we grow, and growing the future together.